It's time for Where You Live with Gene and Tony, the show that's all about owning, buying, selling, renting, and association management. If it involves a home, we'll talk about it. Here's your chance to get your homeowner questions answered. From the Concierge Landscape Studios, here's Gene and Tony.
Needed the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were. Needed someone to understand.
Welcome back to Hour 2 of Where You Live with Gene and Tony. Hey, before we go on any further, Tony, we had another winner from last week.
Okay.
For the Marge Peterson Memorial Scholarship.
All right.
And this will be for the second scholarship. And, folks, this is great. Community Associations Institute, the chapter here in Minnesota, is offering 12 free memberships into CAI. And if you are thinking of being on your association board, or if you are on your association board, there is not a better resource than this to be connected with other people. You get to meet in hobnob with other homeowners who deal with the same issues that you do. You get a list of people who deal specifically in serving homeowner associations and all that goes with that. Mm-hmm. And so it's a great resource. They send out a magazine that's got great articles.
A great magazine, yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Very informative, very well written.
You can go online. They've got an extensive library of articles that you can look at from the past. They're involved with things at the legislature.
They've got a great legal
state,
action committee. That's right.
So it's a great
there on
organization.
behalf of homeowners associations.
So our winner for this month of October goes to Joyce Raschke. And congratulations, Joyce. Joyce is president of the Spinnaker Cove Club Homes 2. She said it is professionally managed. It's about a 130-unit association in Woodbury. So, Joyce, again, welcome aboard. You'll be getting your information very quickly.
And congratulations.
That's right. Folks, if you're just joining us at the end of last hour, we were talking about this homeowner association that had in Missouri that had gotten to a point where the real estate bubble had popped. No more units were selling. And out of 180 units, how many, Tony, was
35%.
it? 35%. Like
62 had sold. So it never was put in the control of the homeowners. It was built in 2003. This one, I mean, that's a long time to go.
That was before this real estate bubble, yeah.
So it was built in 2003, and here it is, 2011. They still have not taken control of the association.
Yes.
The homeowners haven't.
Yeah, and what I was saying that I was so grateful for being in Minnesota about is that we have some better, well-established laws that prevent some of this from happening.
Okay, like what?
I was speaking to our counterpart from CAI in Missouri, and unfortunately, they don't have some of these state statutes that we have here in Minnesota. For example, in Minnesota, it doesn't matter what percent of ownership you're at with your association. At the 5-year mark, the developer is required to turn it over, the control, to the homeowners.
To whatever homeowners are there. We should point out there's an upside and a downside to that.
Yes.
The upside is the homeowners then get to control their community.
That's right. And the other thing that they need to remember is that the developer who still owns a number of units still has the right to vote at meetings.
They are a member.
Will still have possible control because you don't get a lot of people that unfortunately always show up at meetings.
Well,
so
because of the situation, the developer has the majority of the votes.
Yeah, in this particular case, he did. Yeah, He'd have 2/3.
And then the association the homeowners become responsible for paying the association's bills too. So you get the control, but then you get the responsibilities.
Yes, and so unfortunately, here this had gone on, and bills weren't being paid.
Well, then we find out the reason this homeowner is so suspicious is because she found out that there was a lawsuit because for 7 months a bill to the landscaping contractor was not being paid. So it was not in the homeowner's control. It was in the control of the developer. Someone in the development company screwed up, didn't pay the landscape contractor, and before you know it, they were involved in a lawsuit for $38,000 plus.
Yeah. And so they thought that, of course, the homeowners thought because they weren't told anything, and I think that was the real fault, or where things began, that this homeowner and other homeowners started filling in the blanks and started assuming.
Well, they found out about it after the fact,
and they found some of it was true.
Yeah,
and so it's not a good situation.
No, the other argument she makes, which makes sense to me, is this debt was incurred when the developer was 100% in control of the property. They're the ones that didn't pay the bills. They're the ones that got in trouble. So why do all the homeowners have to pay this tab?
Yeah, and here's interesting. A little bit later on in this article here, another homeowner is quoted, and they're saying, is this fair? They said, we didn't think we owed any of those past bills because we didn't enter into those contracts. The developer did. We didn't ask for this, so we're not responsible. And as we learned from the very first story, and it's kind of been a theme, folks, when you enter into a homeowners association, you are entering into the financial obligation with so many other folks.
Yeah. This is an unusual situation, though, don't you think, Gene? It's a very gray area because certainly the homeowners are responsible for the association, but in this case, they don't have a board. The association was not keeping them informed, was not holding regular meetings, was not letting them know what the situation was. So I think they have a valid argument.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. They do. And there's not an easy situation. I don't know that the developer was probably trying to be sneaky or underhanded or trying to pull anything from them. He got into a tough spot.
Yeah.
But when people get in a tough spot, people don't want to disclose. People don't want to talk. They want to claim up. They want to keep things away from others. In an association, you can't do that because, again, you're financially obligated and responsible together. You need to let other people know. I mean, how is that with it? It's no different than a rental in that regard. I mean, if you talk to people all the time, if you're going to rent a house, rent an apartment with a couple other people, you're going to be responsible. Don't you have a story about that?
Oh, I always have a story about that. Be careful who you choose to live with. Be careful who your roommates are, because you are individually responsible for everything about that lease. Collectively, you're responsible, but if your roommate ditches you and disappears, you're stuck with the tab, and you are legally responsible for the whole amount. So, similar situation.
Words to live by. Be careful who you live with.
That's right. That's right.
Well, hey, it is time for us to go to our next story, and this is a story about a 74-year-old grandmother who wants to vow to chain herself to the front of her condominium because she doesn't want the association to do any work. Eric, let's play the tape.
All right, you have to hear about this outspoken Cherokee County grandmother who vows to go to jail if necessary for her latest cause.
Telling you, wake up, world. Get these people out. Sarah Palin, I'm not, but I'm smart.
She calls herself Nana Unplugged and uses YouTube to rant and rave about politics and the economy. 11 Alive's Paul Crawley learns her new fight is just outside her own front door.
This crew is preparing to paint the River Green townhomes near Canton, but they may run into a little problem when they get to the second building.
I'm chaining myself to this house. They're not coming on this property.
74-year-old Irene Parker Waller says she'll follow through with this huge 5-foot-long chain if the paint crew comes anywhere near her condo. She admits decorative cedar shingles on the buildings need work, but she doesn't believe the 8-year-old complex needs a whole new paint job. What angers her most is a letter from the condo management company raising her fees to pay for it. Ms. Parker Waller says even if the association may have the legal right to paint the townhomes, it's the way they're going about it that bothers her most.
They've never told us they had to be painted. If they did, we would paint them.
Since hers is a fee-simple condo, she believes she could get it painted herself for less money. And she says nobody else better try without her permission.
Well, they better bring the police with them and put me in jail because I'm not moving.
Now, the manager of Irene Parker Waller's Condo Association called me back this afternoon to say their paint crew will not touch her unit. They'll repaint all the others, but they'll skip hers. Still not clear if she'll have to pay the higher condo fee, though. She says the war isn't over. Paul Crawley, 11 Live News.
But she won the first round, that sounds like, for sure.
Well, that is our next story. But, folks, we're going to take a break. But I tell you what, when we come back, we will have on the phone live Irene Parker Waller, the woman who is known as Nana Unplugged, will be with us to talk about this story. More after these messages.